Dear Rasikas, welcome to episode number 46 of our Know Your Song series. So today's episode, we are actually going to look at a very unique form of composition. Till now we have been looking at several kritis, several varnams, so on and so forth, right? So now we are going to look at a different form of composition. So before we go into that composition, let me give you a brief about how the composition is and who is the author behind this composition, the set of compositions, right? So this composition will be in the form of hymns, right, or in the form of a poetic language, wherein you will have 7 or 8 stanzas back to back, and a tune will be set, and these kind of hymns do not have a specific tune, right? Unlike we have seen in kritis, wherein kritis are set to a specific tune or a raga, wherein you cannot change a raga and sing the same kriti in a different raga, right? That is not a possibility at all. But now in this form of composition, the lyrics are there, but it can be set to various ragas, or several ragas in combination, like say we have Raga Malika, something like that, right? So this kind of compositions is very famous on Lord Muruga, right? And this is like a folk kind of a melody. If we can put it in English, it's kind of a folk melody, right? And this particular type of variety of folk melody which we are going to see today is called Thiruppugazh, right? And this Thiruppugazh composer is Sri Arunagirinathar. So his name is Arunagirinathar. To kind of delve into a brief of who Arunagirinathar exactly is, right? So he was a poet who was living in the 15th century time, right? 15th century AD, and he was born in a place called Tiruvannamalai. And Tiruvannamalai, most of us will know, right? It is very famous for the Arunachaleshwara temple and the Arunachala hill, right? Where people do the Girivala every Paurnami day, right? It's very auspicious. So he was born, Arunagirinathar was born in Tiruvannamalai, and he was raised up there. And his initial days was, he spent all his life with a lot of pleasure, worldly pleasures, and alcohol, wine, sexual pleasures, etc., so on and so forth, right? And he had no trace of any kind of devotion. But finally, as he progressed with his life, one fine day, he started suffering with a unique kind of a disease which was incurable in those days. Like say very similar to some initial stages of cancer or leprosy or something like that, wherein it's very difficult to cure, and it will cause enormous amount of body pain and this, right? So it becomes very unbearable. So he was suffering from that kind of a disease, and one day he wanted to commit suicide, unable to bear the pain of whatever the body was causing to him. He wanted to commit suicide, and he climbed on one of the towers of the Tiruvannamalai temple, the Shiva temple, Arunachala temple. He climbed over one of the towers, and he decided to jump from that tower, the topmost point of the tower, and finish his life. At that point, when he was jumping down and when he was traveling in the air to reach the ground, to fall on the ground, right? So Lord Muruga appeared in person in front of him, and he caught Arunagirinathar in his 2 arms. And Lord Muruga gave a very beautiful smile to him. He opens Arunagirinathar's mouth, and in his tongue, Lord Muruga, with his veil, right? He has this veil as an ayudam, as a weapon, right? To fight. With that veil, he writes Om in Arunagirinathar's mouth, in the tongue of Arunagirinathar. So from that point onwards, Arunagirinathar gets a lot of poetic knowledge, And Lord Muruga is blessing Arunagirinathar, saying that the purpose of your life begins now, right? The purpose of your life is to compose a lot of compositions upon me. Muruga is saying that, right? Lord Muruga is explaining the purpose of Arunagirinathar's life, right? So the purpose of his life was to compose a lot of, poetic hymns on Lord Muruga, and to travel extensively to several Muruga temples and sing in praise of him, right? So that is the sense of purpose of Arunagirinathar's life. So if somebody is asking us for an example of how a spiritual transformation can happen in one's life, Arunagirinathar's personal life experience is one of the classic examples for that. How a person has been transformed from being into low level worldly into sexual pleasures, into alcoholic consumption and drugs, etc., so on and so forth. A person who never knows ABC or S of spirituality suddenly overnight gets transformed into somebody who can compose thousands of compositions on Lord Muruga. And this is exceptional spiritual transformation, right? And so Arunagirinathar is believed to have composed around 16,000 Thiruppugazh compositions, right? So the entire composition set of 16,000 compositions is what we call as Thiruppugazh, right? Thiru means form of a respect. Pugal means singing in praise of Lord Muruga, right? So the deity here is Lord Muruga. So all Thiruppugazh compositions are sung in praise of Lord Muruga. So out of the 16,000 odd compositions which Arunagirinathar has composed, today we only have around 1,360 compositions which are readily available, right? So in today's episode, we are going to see one such beautiful composition of Thiruppugazh of Arunagirinathar, which is a blessing that we have received from him, right? And this particular composition, Arunagirinathar is traveling to a unique Muruga temple which is situated in a place called Walakot. And this Walakot is precisely around 100 kilometers west of Chennai on the way to Bangalore, right? So it's a very beautiful Muruga temple, and it is believed that Lord Muruga came in Arunagirinathar's dream and to ask him to visit him at this Walakot temple. And when Arunagirinathar visited Walakot temple, he sang many compositions of Thiruppugazh in Walakot. Around 8 or 10 of them are there, out of which today we are going to see one such beautiful composition titled Vasitha Nool Madangal. So we have tuned it to the Raaga Kedara-Gowlai and sung to the Talam Adi. So let us sit back and enjoy this beautiful composition and obtain the grace and divine anugraha of Lord Muruga.
Ah
வாசித்த நூல் மதங்கள் பேசிக்கொடாத விந்து வாய்மை பிரகாசமெங்கும் நிலையாக. வாசித்த நூல் மதங்கள் பேசிக்கொடாத விந்து வாய்மை பிரகாசமென்றும் நிலையாக. மாசிக்க பாலமன்றில் நாசிக்குளோடுகின்ற மாசிக்க பாலமன்றில் நாசிக்குளோடுகின்ற வாயு பிரானொன்று மடைபாரி. வாயு பிரானொன்று மடைபாரி. யோசித்த யாருடம்மை நேசித்துராதலைந்து ரோமதுவாரமெங்கும் உயிர் போக. யோசித்த யாருடம்மை நேசித்துராதலைந்து ரோமதுவாரமெங்கும் உயிர் போக. யோக சமாதி கொண்டு மோக பசாசுமண்டு. யோக சமாதி கொண்டு மோக பசாசுமண்டு. லோகத்தில் வாழ்வதென்றும் மொழியாதோ. லோகத்தில் வாழ்வதென்றும் ஒழியாதோ. வீசப்பயோதி துஞ்ச வேத குலால நஞ்ச மேலிட்ட சூழ்த்தடிந்த கதிர்வேலா. வீசப்பயோதி துஞ்ச வேத குலால நஞ்ச மேலிட்ட சூழ்த்தடிந்த கதிர்வேலா. வீர பிரதாப பஞ்ச பாணத்தினால் மயங்கி. வீர பிரதாப பஞ்ச பாணத்தினால் மயங்கி. வேடிச்சி காலிலன்று விழுவோனே. வேடிச்சி காலிலன்று விழுவோனே. கூசிப்பு காவு துங்க மாமற்றி காதறிந்த கூள புராரி தந்த சிறியோனே. கூசிப்பு காவு துங்க மாமற்றி காதறிந்த கூள புராரி தந்த சிறியோனே. கோழிப்பதாகை கொண்ட கோல குமார கண்ட. கோழிப்பதாகை கொண்ட கோல குமார கண்ட. கோடைக்குள் வாழ வந்த பெருமாளே. கோடைக்குள் வாழ வந்த பெருமாளே. யோக சமாதி கொண்டு மோக பசாசுமண்டு. லோகத்தில் வாழ்வதென்றும் ஒழியாதோ. So that's the song, and this is a very beautiful composition, and all of Arunagirinath's compositions of Thiruppugazh is set to poetic Tamil. So actually, it's very difficult sometimes to pronounce the words also correctly. So it's all kind of very haphazard, very difficult kind of the language style which he has employed, and all because of Bhagwan Muruga's divine anugraha, isn't it? So I am sure, I hope all of you would have enjoyed today's composition, and until we meet for the next time, stay safe and take care. Namaskar.